Hey everyone, this video is for our lesson today. I am sorry I'm not here, but I think you'll find it to be a pretty simple lesson. We're talking about volume of cubes and rectangular prisms. So we're really just using some formulas, and that's it. This is your do first. It is reviewing Monday's lesson where we talked about finding lateral surface area, so surface area that will cover up just the sides, and the total surface area, like if I wanted to wrap up this entire box in wrapping paper, how much would I need to cover every single part of it? So in order to find our lateral surface area, we need to find the perimeter of the base, and then for the total surface area, we had to find the lateral surface area and the area of the base. So here I started with finding the perimeter of the base, which is 50 inches. I just added up everything all the way around. So 8 plus 17 plus 8 plus 17 again. It's like putting up a fence around there. And then the area of the base will be 136 because it's the area down here. So length times width, I multiply 17 and 8 together. And then in order to finish off finding my lateral area here, I'm going to multiply that perimeter of the base times the height of the whole thing here. So I've got 50 times 9, giving me 450 inches squared. And then for the total surface area, I take my lateral surface area, I add it to 2 times the area of the base, which was 136. So when I simplify that all together and add it, I get 722 inches squared. Okay, so today we're talking about volume of rectangular prisms. You do have an assignment in Delta Math. I would love for you to start it. It's combining Wednesday and Friday, so you can start it today and finish it Friday. And you can also start the exit ticket or quiz that you can start it, but don't finish it unless you're feeling super ambitious and look up some extra things. And then I would still hold off on turning it in, because then on Friday I can check your work and see how you did and tell you if you need to change anything. Okay, so we're going to get started on volume. And so we're going to talk about volume and the difference between volume and area. Area had to do with how much space something's taking up on the floor, or like surface area is how much can I cover on the outside. Volume is how much can I put on the inside. So now we're going to be changing our units here. Instead of squared, we're using cubic units. So it would be like units to the third power, so units cubed. So volume of a solid is a number of cubic units in the interior of the solid. Basically, this means that volume is the amount of space that can be filled inside an object. So area was outside, volume is inside. So let's take a look here. I started by getting this one set up here. This is a cube, and I know it's a cube because the length, the width, and the height are all the same measurement. They all have a length of 4. So remember, volume is length times width times height. That's going to be really important. Now, for this one, it's special because it's a cube. So I can say it's the side cubed instead of doing length times width times height, which is the same thing. So the volume here, I'm going to do 4 to the third power. You can put that directly into your calculator, or you can do 4 times 4 times 4, because that's exactly what 4 to the third power means. And then when we do that, you can multiply 2 numbers at a time, do 4 times 4 is 16, and then do 16 times 4. Or you could just put it into your calculator. You should get 64. And we're going to say units cubed, because we're talking about volume. So that right away, if I just look at the measurement there, I would know that we're talking about volume because to the third power. So that's super important to have that there. All right, so if we're looking for finding the volume of a rectangular prism, we find the area of the base times the height, or length times width times height. So we need to do length, because the area of the base is going to be length times width, and then we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it times how tall it is. So for this one right here, my base is going to be 9 and 7. So 9 times 7 times 3. So we would go through, put this into your calculator. You can do it out by hand, whatever makes you happy. But for our volume here, our volume, we're going to multiply these together. If we put it all in our calculator at once, we should get 189 inches cubed for our volume. Now, if I wanted to find the total surface area, I first need to find the perimeter of the base here. So the perimeter of my base is 9 plus 7 plus 9 plus 7, which is going to equal 9 plus 9 is 18. So we have 18 plus 14 for a total of 32. Okay, so 32 is our perimeter, and we're going to take that perimeter and we're going to multiply it times the height to get the lateral surface area, so we can use that for the total surface area. So 32 times 3 is going to give us 96. Okay, so I now know the lateral surface area. So in order to find the total surface area here, I'm going to take that 96 plus, we are going to do 2 times the area of the base. The area of the base is 9 times 7. So we have 96 plus 2 times 63. $96 plus 126. Stop. You want to put that in your calculator. Do 96 plus 126, and you should get 222. So your total surface area is equal to 222 inches squared. That's the difference here. This is squared and not cubed. Volume is cubed, area is squared. All right, so I just wanted for you to try. So what I want you to do is pause the video and then go ahead and try and find the answer. And once you think you've got it, go ahead and hit play and see if you're right. Okay, so for this one, we need to multiply the length, the width, and the height. So length times width times height. Well, in this one, I'm going to multiply 8 times 1 times 5. 8 times 1 is just 1. 8 times 1 is just 8. So itself times 5 is 40. So this makes our volume equal to 40. We're talking about centimeters to the third power. Is cubed. All right, so we have another one here. Find the volume of a cube with a side length of 20 feet. So remember, a cube, we can just take the side and set it to the third power there. So in this case, if we're finding the volume of this cube here, we're going to substitute 20 in for S because we have S equals 20 right here. So 20 to the third power, which remember, this is the same as 20 times 20 times 20. You can also just put this in your calculator as 20 to the power of 3. And when we do that, we get the volume is equal to 8,000 feet to the third power, or cubic feet, or feet cubed. All right, and this one is our last one. So we've got 3 different ones here, and we have to add them all up together. So I'm going to call this one 1, 2, and 3. So 1, plus we'll have to add it to 2, plus we'll add it to 3 to equal our total volume here. So for this first one, notice it has a length of 1, a width of 1, and a height of 1. And then for our second one here, it has a width of 2, length of 2, and a height of 2. And for our last one, we have 3 times 3 times 3, because these are all cubes, but with different length, widths, and heights, or it's different side lengths. So for this one, we have 1. For this one, we have 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. And then on our last one here, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. So we need to add 1 plus 8 plus 27 to give us our total volume here. And when we do that, we get 36 cubic units, or units cubed. Units to the third power, any of that for our volume. All right, so our 2 different shapes we looked at today were volume of a cube. So we take the side length, we cube it to get our total volume. And then for a rectangular prism, we multiply the area of the base, which is their length times width, times our height. So you have 2 different things here of Delta Math and Illuminate. They are not due until after our next lesson. So I would first highly suggest starting this new assignment, starting the quiz, so you see what's there. If you have questions, you can come to Acceleration on Friday. But don't save this for the last minute, or you won't finish on time. It's just too much. You'll be very overwhelmed if you wait, but it's definitely doable if you start right away. So please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to still text or email me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a wonderful rest of your day.